this computer. Welcome to Essential Oils for Animals. And I'm so happy to that's fun. Anyway, I have Janalia Hoffman with me. She is my upline in Young Living and the person who introduced me to the oils back in 1999, and she's been in them longer than me. And she is a pet lover, has 4 cats and 3 dogs, and has had ducks and I don't know what all else. Lots of different animals. So Janalia, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and we're going to be sharing some slides. So I hope you all are tuned in on your computers so that you can see the screen. Okay, Janalia.
Okay, thank you, Karen. I'm thrilled to be talking to other Young Living distributors, as well as move over to Satan, as well as other animal lovers. As Karen said, I'm a big animal lover, and I feel a lot of compassion for animals. I think they give so much, and they really don't have a voice. They're good communicators, but they can't really express, so they need us to help them with that. So I want to start with, we have a slide presentation to go through. And Karen, how does this work? Can people just ask a question anytime?
Yeah,
okay.
They can ask a question at any time. Okay, let's see. You cannot minimize Zoom while you're recording the meeting. Okay, let's see if I can get, okay. All right, well, I may already have a technical glitch. Let's see here, share screen. There we go. There we are. Yes, if you have a question at any time, you can go ahead and ask.
Okay. Let's go ahead and forward.
Is going in the background somewhere?
Pardon?
Is there a TV going in the background somewhere?
No. Turn that on. Cicadas in the.
Okay, are you hearing a bunch of noise?
Yeah, it sounds like a television. Maybe somebody's who's in the class, they haven't put their microphone on mute.
Okay, let me hit the stop share. And yeah, everybody mute your microphone unless you're going to speak over there in the bottom left-hand corner. Just hit mute. But if you want to say something, then you can go ahead and, yeah, then you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Okay, back to share screen, desktop, and present. Okay.
Okay, so I know you all are familiar with this, but in order to move ahead, we have to, I have to read the disclaimer slide. Sorry. The information contained herein was not compiled by a medical professional. Therefore, anything presented is not intended to treat, diagnose, prevent any diseases, or cure your pet, regardless of what that pet may be. You're responsible for how you use this information. Please consult a healthcare professional for medical evaluation if necessary. So one of the questions I get most often is, do essential oils really work on animals? And the answer, of course, is yes. I'm sure you all believe that, but they actually respond much the same way that humans do. The thing that we all need to remember is that animals are much more sensitive to the effects of oils than humans. And in fact, one of the things that I've noticed is that people who are more alkaline respond better to the oils than people who are more acidic, and from a, you know, processed food diet or a lot of red meat or something like that makes you more acidic. Whereas animals usually have a more pure diet, so they tend to respond really quickly to the oils. So essential oils can be used on a wide range of animals from small kittens to 2,000-pound horses. So when you think about what conditions I can use essential oil for, there are many, many issues: sore body parts, aging pet conditions, stress, skin issues, whole body, and internal support, and much more. And another question that many people ask is, how much do I use? And this is an important question when we're talking about animals that are super sensitive. If you think about an average human is 150, 160 pounds, we tend to think 3 to 5 drops, whereas a horse at 1,600 pounds can use 10 times that amount, 30 to 50 drops. Or a small dog at 16 pounds uses 1/10 of that. So that's a very, very tiny amount. In fact, 1/10 of 5 drops would be just a half a drop. So you might say, well, how do I use half a drop? That's when you need to start diluting the oils. We'll talk about that. So for small dogs, you mix 1 drop with 4 to 10 drops of a carrier oil. That's a 75% dilution. For 90% dilution for cats, 1 drop of oil to 10 drops of a carrier oil. In fact, you have to be super careful with cats because they are so sensitive. Here's another dilution chart, and I've just included another way to think of it because sometimes this is a little confusing for people. 0 to 25 pounds, 75% dilution. In other words, 1 drop of oil to 4 drops of carrier oil. A dog 26 to 45 pounds is a 50 to 75% dilution. 46 to 75 pounds, 25 to 50% dilution. 76 to 90 pounds, 50% dilution. 91 to 150 pounds is at 25% dilution. And 150 pounds, 0 to 25% dilution. So I've actually, on my large dogs that are 80 pounds and over, I often use the oils neat. It just depends on what it is.
Explain neat.
Oh, neat, spelled N-E-A-T, just means that you put the oil on straight. In other words, no carrier oil and no dilution. And some of the best carrier oils for pets are the Young Living B6 oil, organic coconut oil, organic virgin olive oil, or animal sense ointment, which we'll talk about in a minute. And this dog on the blue couch is my dog Cashmere. He's a 105-pound Commodore. He was actually rescued. He was left in a house to die with his brother, who actually died of starvation. And so he came with a few issues, terrible digestion issues, but now with oils and a really good diet, he's a very, very healthy dog. He actually had a bone issue, which a vet actually put a splint on his, oops, okay, so I can't, that's not compliant, sorry. Anyway, he did have a bone issue, and I used oils to help that situation. All right, large animals like cattle and horses, we can apply 20 to 30 drops neat, or in other words, with no dilution, per application. Small dogs and cats, we want to always dilute the oils before applying. When your pet is new to oils, it's best to try the oils on their feet or paws first, just because the paw is the toughest part of the animal. So if they're going to have some kind of reaction, that's the safest way to do it. In fact, I mean, sometimes that's really the best way, although we'll talk about other. So small dogs and cats are, as we've said, and I want to emphasize this, much more sensitive to the biochemicals in the oils than humans. So we have to be super careful about the amount of oil that we use. So let's talk for a minute about cats, because cats are even more sensitive than small dogs, and it's very important to be very cautious with cats. This is actually my cat Bhakti. She was a rescue. She's 7 years old, and she's been exposed to the oils a lot in her lifetime. One of the things that I've used oils a lot on is ticks. We're going to talk about ticks in a minute, though, so I'll get into that. So cats are extremely sensitive to strong odors. They generally have adverse reactions to citrus products. In fact, sometimes they are used to deter cats from entering certain areas. So you don't want your cat to be unhappy like the cat on the screen. You want to make your cat happy by getting rid of chemicals in your house if you can. I actually know of people whose cats have run away, or they've engaged in very bad behavior because they're upset about some kind of cleaning fluid that's been used in their space. Even sometimes people will clean the kitty litter box with something strong like Lysol or something, and that can actually make a cat never want to go to the box again and go elsewhere. So what to avoid with cats? We like to avoid the high phenol oils such as oregano, thyme, wintergreen, clove, melaleuca, mountain savory, tea tree, Laurus nobilis, and cinnamon bark. So if you do use these, you want to dilute at least 90%. In fact, one of the things that I do with my cats sometimes, if they're going to go outside, I'll put 1 drop of oil with 5 drops of carrier oil on my hands and just rub my hands together. So it's very diluted, and then I'll just barely touch their skin, or their hair actually. So let's move on to horses. How do you administer the oils internally? On large animals like horses, you can pull out the bottom lip and put in 10 to 15 drops of oil. The horse will feel the effect quickly because capillaries in the lip will carry the oil into the bloodstream immediately. So if you're thinking of doing this with a large drop, you can use 1 to 3 drops on the lip. Gary Young talks about how you can tell if an oil is effective within 60 seconds. And I found this to be true with animals. There will be a really positive reaction right away if it's really going to work. So how you administer them internally, you can put the essential oils in a capsule and put it in the food. You can also, when you use the oils internally, you want to make certain the oils are pure and free of chemicals, solvents, and other adulterants. So that's the beauty of Young Living oils. We know that they're pure and free of all of these chemical additives. So one tip to remember is that when you're using essential oils with large animals, you generally use the same oils and same protocol recommended for humans. Another little tip, which may seem logical and obvious, but I actually had to learn this the hard way. When you're applying oils, say to a horse or even a large dog, sometimes you can find yourself crawling underneath in awkward positions trying to place the oil. And it makes it a lot easier just to put the oil in a spray bottle with the dilution and spray it on location, so you can get it there quickly and easily without any stress on the animal. And if you're not familiar with Animal Sense ointment, this is a wonderful product that Young Living sells. It's kind of like a rub-on Band-Aid. If you administer an oil on, let's say, on the skin of your animal, you can put a little spread of Animal Sense ointment on top, and it keeps the oil from evaporating into the air. It's also very soothing, and it protects the area. The Animal Sense ointment is also a way to save your oils, because when you just start dropping oils on the skin or wherever, there is a certain evaporation that occurs, and there's also they drip. Whereas if you can target an area with one drop and put the Animal Sense ointment on it, it's very helpful for making it more effective. So let's talk about some specific oils for animals. This is my dog Pogo. She's a rescue from a family that had 4 big dogs with a 3-acre yard, and they ended up getting divorced and moving into little tiny apartments. So they had no room for these big dogs. So Pogo wound up with us. And this is a picture of Pogo after receiving a lavender treatment. You can see she's very, very mellow. One of the things that's so nice about using the oils with your pets is that there's an intimacy there. You know, that you're observing what the issue is, you're deciding on an oil and using the oil in an appropriate way. And it's a way to bond with your animal. It's really, really nice. When you think about that versus your animal is sick and you get nervous, and instead of really observing the animal, you take it to the vet for somebody else to deal with. So I really believe that using the oils with your pets helps the bonding, and the animals realize that you're wanting to help them. And it is extremely important to observe your pet carefully after you use the oils, looking for positive responses or any kind of response, just so you understand more the relationship of your pet to the oils and whatever the situation is.
May I interrupt for a moment, please?
Sure.
There's still a couple of people that are not muted. They may be on phones and don't know how to mute. If you could mute them, it's causing some feedback and some outside noises. Very distracting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thanks for letting us know.
Okay, I will just mute everybody. All right, that one is muted. That's muted. That one's okay. I'll mute that one. Okay, all right, so everybody is muted, and then if you want to say something, you'll just need to unmute yourself. Okay. All right. Okay, now I'm trying to move to the next screen. Okay, technical glitch. All right, let me, hold on just a second. Let me hit the share screen again and see if we can get back. Hmm. Okay. Haven't had this problem before. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay, great, thanks. Frankincense vitality has been the subject of much research and contains sesquiterpenes that stimulate the part of the brain that controls emotions. Frankincense vitality supports overall well-being and a healthy immune system. It also helps focus the mind and to overcome stress and despair. And just a little side story about frankincense. The first dog you met, Cashmere, the big white one on the blue couch, he has a terrible phobia of hot air balloons. And we actually live kind of on the outskirts of Overland Park, where in a hot air balloon path. So on nice days, we see them often, and he is so terrified that his heart just about pounds out of his chest. It's just really sad to see. And if he's out in the backyard and he sees a balloon, he'll actually try to jump the fence and just run, which he's not prone to do at all. In fact, he would never leave his own yard. So it's a very serious phobia that he has, and affects him physiologically in a really kind of scary way. Anyway, I've used frankincense for him, and that's really, really helpful. Actually, this is not about animals, but a little side story. My mother had Alzheimer's, and she lived with me for a while, and it helped. Oh, sorry. Oops. Okay, let's move on. All right, so let's talk about raindrop technique. It's not just for people. I have done raindrop on my large dogs. Which has been effective. One of my dogs had a reaction to something at one point, and I used raindrop, and it really helped the situation. So you can do, depends on what the situation is, but you can do even just 1 or 2 oils on the spine. And it's just a way to very quickly get the oils into the system. So one thing to always remember is do not get the oils in your animal's eyes. This may sound really obvious, but because all of us have done this, you know, we've used an oil and touched our eye, and you learn really quickly. But I've had quite a few people tell me that they made a mistake and got the oils in their eyes, and if this happens, it becomes a real negative thing. Dogs are agreeing. Careful.
Okay, can you mute whoever's got the dogs, please?
Okay, so Jittery Pets. Peace and Calming or Valor, if you put it on yourself first and then you approach your pet, it will react to the aroma. One technique that I've used is just to sit down or kneel and remain still for several minutes. And many animals will calm down with this technique so that then you can calmly apply the oil. My upline many years ago, when I first got into Young Living, came to visit me. He was out of town, and he came and spent weekends on occasion to teach about the oils. And one of my big dogs was kind of jittery and didn't you know, was a little unwelcoming to new people in the house. So anyway, Dean would put Peace and Calming on himself, on his hands and around his neck. And it was really amazing. This was when I was new to the oils, and I just couldn't believe it when he would do that and walk into the room and watch my dog change his behavior. Many people have animals that are terrified of thunderstorms and fireworks. I have this issue at my house with several of my dogs too. So the oils are really, really helpful for that. Lavender. Lavender is good for all kinds of skin issues, and it's also very, very calming. Some of the things that we just talked about, lavender can be really helpful for. Just remember to use 90% dilution for cats. This is really a little bit of a repetition here. Keeping lavender along on hikes and things with your animals can be really, really helpful. It's just in case of having a need for that. Outdoor adventures with dogs. This is called the Day Tripper Spritz. 4 drops of Purification, 4 drops citronella, 1 drop cedarwood, 2 drops Palo Santo, and 1 drop thyme. If you add these oils to 4 ounces of a glass spray bottle, fill the rest of the bottle with water, shake really well, and then spritz the coat before heading outside. Also remembering to not get it anywhere near the face or eyes. This recipe can make a really big difference in your comfort, your animal's comfort level outside. And Melrose, powerful cleansing properties. Let's move on here. Mountain Savory helps to heal. Put on the place where there's a sore spot. It's very good for that. Myrrh helps the skin with moisturizing and cleansing properties. Panaway is great for discomfort. Do not apply to open sores because it will sting and traumatize the animals. Instead, use heliochrysum and balsam fir to reduce bleeding and discomfort. Know that heliochrysum and balsam fir will not sting when they're applied to an uncomfortable place on the animal. Purification is used to clean sore areas. You can also spritz it before going outside to enjoy the outdoors. If I just gave you that formula for the outdoor adventure, which works well. If you don't want to go to the trouble to mix all of those oils, Purification can be a nice substitute for that. It's also great as an air freshener in the car and the house. Valerian. This oil can be used internally and externally for discomfort and sleep issues, as well as vetiver.
And is there somebody that needs to mute? We're hearing feedback again.
PuriClean. Use generously to clean affected areas. Put 8 to 10 drops in a 1 ounce spray bottle with distilled water for a quick skin cleansing spritz. This is best used as a 3-part system, with this being step 1. Step 2, infect away. You add 1 to 2 drops to the affected area to support proper healing. Put 8 to 10 drops in a 1 ounce spray bottle with distilled water to support wound healing and prevent infection. And then part 3 of this system is Mendwell. to promote wound healing. So the three of these work very well together for a nice overall healing effect. Tea Away for trauma, formulated with a soothing scent for your animal to support emotional freedom and joyful feelings. I haven't tried this with the hot air balloon phobia, but I intend to. But I use Frankenstein works, so anyway, this is another possibility for you. Add 1 drop behind each ear or paws to calm during times of grief or agitation, or diffuse for 30 minutes 3 times daily to support positive emotions. Paraguise is a great oil. You add 2 to 4 drops to water for internal parasites. RepelAroma, add to spray bottle and spritz on your animal's coat to keep pests and insects away. Or add 2 to 4 drops to your hands and put onto your animal's coat. I use that technique a lot, where I just put it on my hands and then I wipe my hands on their coat. Or you can diffuse to keep pests away from certain areas in the home or small areas outdoors. So we talked earlier about observing your animals carefully with the oils so you really know what's happening. And while you're diffusing, it is also important to watch your pet's response. Diffusing oils for respiratory support can be very helpful. You can diffuse for 10 minutes at a time every 5 to 6 hours for cats or small animals, and longer for larger animals. If you have a tick situation on a cat or a dog, you can apply 1 drop cinnamon or peppermint on a cotton swab and swab on the tick. And then you wait for it to release the head before removing from the animal's skin. So some people think that it's going to come out immediately, so be patient, because I found sometimes they do come out immediately, but sometimes you have to wait 5 minutes or even more. And in that case, I keep just putting the Q-tip on the tick, and they will come out. They always come out. I've done this many, many times. But I like to warn people that it's not instantaneous sometimes, so you don't put too much oil on. The other thing is, on a horse or a big dog, instead of using the swab, I'll sometimes just drop 1 drop onto the tick and then wait, and that always works too. But you can't do that with a cat or a small animal, it's too strong. And also, on a large dog, I've used oregano as well. If I didn't have peppermint or cinnamon handy, I used oregano, and ticks really don't like oregano either. Water quality is really, really important. Making sure that your pets are drinking pure water is very, very crucial. Chlorinated water will suppress thyroid and immune function in animals even quicker than humans. And cleaning non-toxically, we talked about that with cats. It's important for all animals. Pets are more sensitive to chemicals than adults due to their smaller size. Dogs and cats have a much stronger sense of smell and are more affected by chemicals. And remembering that they also walk and lay on the floor, so they're closer to wherever these cleaning products might be. So I use only natural things, and mostly I use Thieves Household Cleaner for floors and other cleaning areas in the house. Animal scent shampoo. This is really a great product because so many of the pet shampoos have harsh things in them. It cleans, conditions, and protects your pet's coat without harmful ingredients. Formulated with 5 pure essential oils and other natural ingredients. Very, very safe. Smells great too. This is a great product that we use in our house all the time. The Animal Sense Dental Pet Chews. It combines the power of spearmint, peppermint, and paraguy's essential oils to create a tasty treat that supports oral and digestive health for dogs and other pets. And it's just important for us to know that oral care is as important for our pet friends as it is for us. And it's very difficult. If you've ever tried to brush your dog's teeth, you know it's a struggle. So this is something that is a very happy product to try because the dogs just absolutely love these. This is one of the kittens that we fostered. In fact, last year in Florida, we rescued 14 cats from a junkyard. And all of these cats have been living in really bad conditions where they were hiding under old cars that were junked. And a lot of the cats had oil and gasoline on their skin. So they had skin problems, they had respiratory problems. And this little guy, we got him when he was only 4 weeks old, and he was really in very serious condition with his brother and sister. And anyway, we nursed them back to health, and we diffused RC and eucalyptus alternated. We just diffused it about 5 minutes, like every 5 or 6 hours. And that really helped with the respiratory issues. So now, a year and a half later, he's a very healthy boy and very happy. I highly recommend this new resource book on animals. You can get it at the Life Science Publishing. It's lots and lots of different information about animals. So now I'm going to turn this over to Karen, who's going to talk about kits and different options.
Okay, great. So if you are not already a member of Young Living, most people start with the premium starter kit because you get such a great value. It's the only thing in Young Living that is really half off. You get 11 oils, samples, and a diffuser. And just contact the person that invited you to this program, and they can help get you started. The kit has samples of Ninja Red for full system support, the diffuser. You get a lifetime wholesale membership. That's pretty cool. That means you get 24% off your oils. And to maintain your wholesale membership, all you have to spend is $50 in a calendar year on the oils that you select. So there's no membership fee. That's like purchasing 2 bottles of thieves cleaner, which you're really going to want because it smells great. It's economical. One of those bottles of thieves cleaners makes 29 16-ounce bottles of cleaner. Well, that's a pretty amazing deal, about $1.50 a bottle with tax and shipping. Another option is you can get the basic starter kit. It's $45, and then add the products that you want. Say you want specific products other than what is in the basic starter kit. In the premium starter kit, this basic starter kit is a good option, and that can get you started. Young Living also has oil infused products. The dogs and cats love the Ninja Red. The Ninja Red is over here in this bottle. It tastes great. You can dilute it 1-to-1 in water and help support your pet's overall health. Young Living has a very generous Essential Rewards program that you can sign up for, which is a monthly shipment of products that you select. And that is a $50 a month where you can just generally add to your collection and replace products that you already have. The first 3 months, you get 10% in points to turn in for free products. So say you spend $100, you would get basically $10 in points that you can turn in for free product. And it gets even better. Months 4 to 24, you get 20%, sorry. And then in months 25 on, you get 25%. Plus, Young Living throws in a free gift every 3 months. And the more you order, the more free product that they give you. You also get discounted shipping. So that is an amazing program, and I've been on that since 1999. Okay, love it, share it, repeat. You can share it with your friends and family, and Young Living is also a way to earn free oils if you want. So if you're interested, talk to the person that invited you to the program about that. Okay, that's the end of this slideshow, and here we are. Okay, we would like to open it up to any questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
Will we be getting copies of the slides? I was interested in that formulation that she first did that had the purification citronelle and the cedarwood palo santo, but I didn't get the entire recipe.
Okay.
At one time.
All right. I am recording this, and after I do a little bit of editing, I am going to upload it to my YouTube channel at Karen Harrison Reiki, and I'm going to put, yeah, I can also email it to you if you send me your email.
Okay, thank you. There were several there that I wanted to keep.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right, and I think Nydia, did you have a question? Okay, lower hand.
No, it's Karen.
Oh.
I would post the slides in the Facebook class, ones with recipes.
Oh, you posted that in the Facebook group, the recipe?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay, sure. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, great.
That'll be easy. Okay, and Nydia, did you have a question?
I just wanted to know if, if there's a formula to prevent fleas.
But that was the one we were talking about, the that one slide that, but as I was saying, if you don't want to mix all of those, you can use purification.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's just easier.
And also RepelAroma.
Okay, and you just spray it to spray it?
Yeah, you
straight?
put a few, get a little spray bottle with distilled water and put a few drops in. And the thing is, just remember that just like people have little different chemical makeups, that some of the oils might work better for that than others. So you may want to experiment a little bit.
Let's see. And also, I have a lab that he happens to have kind of skin issues. And I've taken him to the vet, and they tell me he is allergic to pollen. But he's always with a rash.
You said, is that a cat or a dog?
A dog.
Oh, a dog.
A Labrador.
A Labrador?
Yes.
A Labrador. Well, you know, lavender is so great for the skin, but if that doesn't work, geranium is really great for skin issues.
Okay.
Just dilute it a little bit and rub it on. It's really can, I've seen that work wonders. This has been a terrible year for oak mites. I don't know if any of you had that problem, but I know.
Yes.
people are complaining about it. It's just really bad. And one of our little rescue dogs has it. And if you treat them for fleas, it won't work. And we've used lavender on her, and it's worked like a miracle.
Wow.
And I also
Okay.
used geranium on her as well.
Okay. I've been using lavender and coconut oil, and it looks like it's working.
Well, that's good. If you think it isn't working well enough, then I would try geranium.
Okay, I will. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Hope it helps.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Okay.
Any other questions?
I have one more question. I just want to clarify all the places that you can put the oils on. I heard you say paws, and I saw something that said their ears. Is that in the ear or just behind their ear or what?
Now, just you have to be really careful of the ear. I really don't ever put oils in my dog's ears, because if you get too much down in the ear canal, it can actually make them go deaf. So you've got to be cautious. But as far as where you put them, paws are always the safest place. But I talked about the raindrop technique. You can put some drops on their spine. That works well. If, like when we were talking about the repelling pests, with a lot of dogs, you can just put it on like the nape of their neck. But if it's a big dog, you want to put some on their backside as well, just because you've got a bigger area, you know. That's always a spot too that works. You can put oils behind their ears. Just be careful about getting them inside.
So for like an ear infection, you would just put it behind the ears. What will you put? What oil?
Well,
So we're not really talking about treating any disease, but you can support the immune system. And Janley, what oil would you suggest for that?
I would suggest
I'm thinking thieves would be possibly one to try on a dog.
yeah, I've used oregano too for ear troubles. I've used thyme.
Okay.
All right, undiluted.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you can put it on the outside of the ear, so you know it'll filter in and help with that.
Okay.
All right, okay. Somebody
you.
else raise their hand. My question. Okay. Any other questions?
Should we ask if anybody wants to share something they use with their animals?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Did anybody have any stories to tell about oils in your animals?
Yes. When my dogs are too active, I just put a little bit of lavender on their collar, and it's amazing how everyone will just go to their place and sleep.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
You know, speaking of collar too, another thing you can do for the repelling pests is you can take, if their collar is a cloth, you can put a few drops of oil on that and saturate it, like maybe 4 or 5 drops, and then put the collar on them. And some people use that technique, which works really well, and that'll last about a week to 2 weeks.
Good idea. And for the I have a Labradoodle, so he has a lot of hair, and when I comb him, I mean, he loves when I comb him, but I've been using coconut oil, and it seems to work. Is there anything else that you might suggest that I can mix with for their hair?
I saw a recipe for a detangling spray for humans. I think it was taking some of the lavender mint conditioner and diluting it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to be, yeah, that solution is in my back to school slideshow, which I'm going to be showing on Friday at 7. But I can also post that slide in the Young Living Dream Builders resources group.
Okay.
So I would think that, you know, if you can use it on your hair, you can use it on your animal, and if it's just, you know, that big of an animal, then it should be fine. If it's a smaller animal, you dilute it.
Okay. Good. Interesting. Thank you.
Any other pet stories and oils?
I just wanted to thank you for this presentation. I really got a lot out of it, but I'm going to need to go. But I wanted to make certain that you knew that I really appreciated what you had to offer.
Well, you're welcome.
Yes, it was very nice.
It is so important to share all these stories, because you just learn from experience, you know.
Right. And thank you for taking the time. Yes, of course.
And thank you all for joining. And yes, we'll make this available to you all.
Thank you.